Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. Today I am hanging out in the front yard and we're going to cut back this giant blue hydrangea. So we talked about this hydrangea in our rain damage tour a couple of weeks ago, and it's all splayed out in the back. I'll show you in a minute, but it's just time to go ahead and cut her back. The best time to cut back a hydrangea that is a macrophylla or big leaf hydrangea like this is immediately after it blooms. If you need to do a rejuvenation prune or if you need to control the size. Now this particular hydrangea, every like 3 years or so, I end up cutting it all the way back down to my knee, about 3 feet tall, and it shoots up to 10 feet in a couple of years. So it's important for me to keep it kind of hedged in, only because it's not strong enough to hold all those blooms underneath the rain. And that's what happened, is it's got a huge flush of blooms this year, and then it rained, it got really heavy, and it all splayed out, and it's not looking really pretty, and it's just time to cut it back again. And I knew I'd be cutting it back this year. I wasn't planning on cutting it back so early, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna save a bunch of blooms. I'm gonna fill a whole bucket, a 5-gallon bucket filled with good blooms. Put about 2 inches of water on the bottom of that bucket, put it in some shade, and let the blooms dry for dried flower arrangements later in the season. The rest of the plant is just going to come down and then kind of clean up the edges to shape it up. So let me show you the back side of it, because from this angle it looks really beautiful. I know that, but let's go look on the back and you can see what it looks like and why I'm ready to do it now. Okay, so now you can see the back side of this, and it is all splayed out, and you can also see how sparse the foliage is in the deep canopy. So what I'm gonna do is I just go through and I'll just cut it back to the last leaflets. So I just come through and find the last leaf, like this one. I'll cut it right here. This one that has several branches coming off, I'll cut it back to this one and then take all of this off. And we just kind of strategically go through it like that, and I'll just keep it as nice and tidy as I can. I will be saving blooms that look like this. And then we had some purple ones this year, which I think it's because I have this wood pile right up against the base, this wood mulch. It kind of changed the soil, because these plants are pH specific. So when they're more purple, they're more alkaline, and when they're blue, they're more acidic. And our soil is very acidic. So I think we had some leaching happen from all this bark mulch this year, and so we got blessed with a few purple blooms. What I won't be saving is the brand new blooms like this. They don't hold up. They're just, I don't know why, they always shrivel up and don't hold up in water very well or dry very well. This I can save, and it'll give me kind of that autumn feel, and these will dry nicely. It'll just turn kind of brownish beige color, but I won't be saving any that are already crispy. Do you hear that? I won't be saving those that are already started drying that much, just because the shape won't be as nice as maybe say this shape would be, or this shape would be. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna select a bunch of blooms, put them in a bucket, and then get to cutting this thing down. All right, got my little bucket of water, just a couple of inches in there. grabbed all the purple ones first. I'm going to strip all of the leaves off of them. And then we just put the cut-ins in the water. The barberry is poking me. The barberry is poking me. It doesn't need to thank me. There. All right, now we could do blue. You see any other purples? About that. Big leaf hydrangeas bloom on old wood. So it's important that when you're pruning your hydrangeas to understand what kind of hydrangea you have and to know if they bloom on old wood or new wood. And with these particular ones, I know that they bloom on old wood. So it's important that I get them pruned before they set next year's flower buds. Here, I'll let you take this one. Just put it up by the deck. Jeez. This is when I wish I had a relationship with a florist.
Yeah, no kidding.
I could just tell him, I'm cutting back my hydrangea. Stop by this evening. I'll have a bunch of stripped. Just bring your bucket. I'll fill it up. Bring 12 buckets. I don't know. we have it. It's all cut back, back to a 5 foot, 4.5 foot shrub, 5 foot shrub, depending on which side of the slope you're standing on. On this side, it's slightly taller than me, so I guess we're looking at closer to 5'8" maybe. And then on that side, it's a little bit shorter than me, because we're on such a steep grade. Anyhow, it's all cleaned up, plenty of foliage still on there for it to grow and develop for next year. You can see I pretty much just selected the last leaf, and then if it was like a really weak stem or crossing, I just cut it down to a, let's see if I can get a good example, a good swollen bud is what I would cut it down to. So like you could see here, there's a nice swollen bud or swollen node right there that will push new growth. And you know, there's still a little bit of cleanup I could do here and there, but I did cut out a bunch of little dead branches inside and watched for crossing branches and that kind of thing. But overall, it's good enough for what it is. My water meter guy is gonna be happy. We could not access the water meter at all. And this is inspiring me to get into that privet, which needs to be pruned again, but I'm not doing that this evening. We did end up with 3 buckets. Spencer already took 1 bucket up onto the porch. We just leave it up on our shady porch to dry. I think I'm gonna put one out by the road and put a free sign on it for neighbors. I wanted to share this piece with you because there was a branch that had gone underneath the ground. You know, it grew funny, and this piece right here, this root ball, was part of the branch that had gone under the ground, and then it sprouted this new leaf plant, whatever, sprouted this piece out of the ground. And when I went to cut it back, I pulled on it and the roots came out of the ground. So that's what's called layering. So we could push, we could essentially push this down into the ground. This is a little high. I cut off all the ones that could do that. Oh, this one maybe. If it was touching the ground here, we could stake it, and then everywhere that there's a bud, it would start growing roots if it was touching the soil and create a new plant. I can technically plant this in the ground and have another Macrophylla Hydrangea that's the same as this one with the blue blooms. I don't need that, so I'm not going to, but that is one way that you can propagate these. They also propagate really easily by cutting as well. Well, that's gonna be it for today's video. I just wanted to share with you when I cut this hydrangea back, and if I get inspired to do the privet tomorrow morning, I might include that in this video as well, just because we have gone over pruning the privet so many times. It happens 2 or 3 times every single year, and you know, if you're really curious, you could go back in videos and see how that goes. I might just cut it back without doing any filming, but that'll be the next project that we do over in this area. And I'm really happy with what we got done. I didn't have to cut it back as far as I thought I was gonna have to. Still really good, strong branching in there. Just needed to have a little bit of cleanup and not get, there was quite a few broken branches from the weight of those blossoms being pulled down in the rain. So I'm glad I got in there and got those cleaned up, because when they're broken and splintered like that, the chances of disease taking hold in there is greater. So having a nice clean cut will help them heal faster, and they'll be nice and healthy plants. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're celebrating your life, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.